been very busy, but we are back in MercTown Underground.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the SLB.
This is a special episode recapping our Cleveland trip.
Yeah, Cleveland. Interesting. Yes, we're gonna give you a quick rundown on this trip. Well, as quick as we can. It's been a fascinating weekend, and actually this is a last-minute thing. So, let's get right into it.
Yeah, real quick, we filmed 2 episodes after the last one we released, but we're going to keep them in the vault for now. Just because we didn't feel they were as good, and we want to eventually release them, but
When we feel ready to.
it's one of those B-sides.
Yeah. So, kicking things off, me and Mark, as you know, just to sum up what the trip was, we went to Ohio. We hit a couple theme parks, Dorney Park and Cedar Point, as well as did the Dog Fashion Disco Adultery 10th Anniversary show.
It was amazing.
Fascinating.
3
And
nights.
then we followed up actually with tonight, going to see the Deftones in Boston.
Which was absolutely fucking incredible.
So first and foremost, we're going to start off with, Wednesday. So first and most importantly, I just started my new job. So I work 3 to 11:30 at night. So going into this trip, I think I had no sleep.
That's pretty typical for you.
That's typical for me, but
you
yeah.
get an average of, 6 hours a week?
6.5.
Okay, sorry. We'll say 7. I'll round up to 7.
Around 7, yeah. So me and Merc, we headed out early on Wednesday morning. We picked up a good friend of ours who we met at the Baltimore reunion shows 3 years ago. Friend Molly. Hi, Molly, if you're listening. Hi.
Everything circles back.
It does circle back. We call that a reach around. So, what did we pretty much do? We pretty much first day we hit Dorney Park.
Kind of a below average place.
It is. It's in Pennsylvania. I forgot where exactly in Pennsylvania. Somewhere in the middle.
Allentown, I believe.
Allentown.
Going by on 78, I've always passed it, doing my races and all that, and I always wanted to go just because I've driven by it enough times. It's like, I should probably... It's kind of like that girl that you always wanted to sleep with, and you always kind of push it off. And then, 2 or 3 years later, you hook up, and it's okay. You kind of expect it to be where it was, but
yeah,
it worked. It served its purpose.
But it doesn't last long. So, it's actually, you're right, it was in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
All right.
On point. So, we went there. There was only 6 coasters, right? If I'm not mistaken.
6 worth riding, yeah.
Yeah, 6 worth riding.
It was like the Eagle or the Talon right at the start of the park.
The Talon was good. There was the Steel something. It was the big one there.
They have the longest, or the 9th longest roller coaster in the world, which is, that's a pretty cool feat to have. It's a decent ride. It's not super fast. It's not super tall. It was like the Magnum XL or something like that.
Magnum was at Cedar Point.
It was a kind of wheel. It was like maybe Steel Beast or something. But it's the 9th longest coaster in the world. They have one really old wood coaster, which was a wood coaster. It was pretty average, right next to that big red one. Then they had the Hydra, which had like 9 inversions, but it was kind of slow.
Steel Force was the name of it. That was the fun one.
Yes.
Steel Force and Talon. There was a couple of it. Thunderhawk was the wooden one.
Thunderhawk. That's a piece of history, though. It's from like 1917 or something.
1923.
1923.
I love riding old roller coasters. We were talking about this earlier this week. There's something that wooden roller coasters have, some personality.
That clack when it's going up the hill.
The clack, the clicking, the fact that the cars are going to jump off, the feeling that you're playing Russian roulette and you don't know if you're going to live this time. It's a fascinating and exciting feeling. You get all this adrenaline pumped through you. But pretty much there were 6 rides.
And one of them was broken.
One was broken.
Over coasters.
Yeah, 6 coasters.
Although they had one exactly the same at Cedar Point that we did do the next day.
Yes.
They had the Stinger, which was like the last one we did before we looped around and did the...
Yeah, it was probably one of those mass-produced coasters that are repackaged in a different park.
Exactly.
We
did 2 drop rides.
Yeah, we did the, I forget what the first one we did is the one that every fucking theme park has. It's the big tower with the, the park's name on it, and they're all named differently. The Dominator. That's the name of it. I remember going up not even halfway, and Molly was like, "Oh, this is not what I wanted to do."
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
The other one was really interesting. That made you feel like I didn't even know how to explain it. The Demon Drop. It was a big metal cage that pushed you out. It was like it brought you up, and it pushed you out over the edge before it dropped you. And then when it dropped you, you kind of ended up on your back. Now, the drop isn't so bad.
It's the domestic assault as you're coming down. That's terrible.
Not even. It was more the fact that when you stop at the end, and then it was trying to, like, move you, so then you move backwards and you go up. It definitely makes you feel... It kicks the shit out of you. It looks uglier than it, seems. It feels uglier than it seems. But yeah, there was, it was a small park. It wasn't, bad. It wasn't great.
If you're going to Pennsylvania and you have nothing to do, fucking go.
Yeah, go. Definitely check it out. They do have a water park there. We didn't go. We went on 2 water rides. The first one, we went one of those, boat rides that drops, and we thought that was going to be bad. Then we went on this,
rapid...
Water rapids one,
rapids.
Which I was in jeans day 1. My jeans didn't dry till that night. But it was nice and cool. My legs were nice and cool down all day.
That was the most wet ride I've ever been on. That's not a water slide.
Yes. Yes, it was interesting to say the least.
You got the worst end of it, though.
I did. I got nailed. I got nailed hard.
You got hit from the first one to the end. I avoided a couple.
Yeah, no, I felt like, it was like watching, a Cleveland Brown season. First couple of games they're good, and then the rest of it you just get hammered. And they lose.
So, it was a nice way to break up a 10-hour trip.
Yeah, the drive was 10 hours, by the way. We ended up staying in Westlake, which is 20 minutes...
25 minutes.
Right outside of Cleveland.
I prefer not to stay in the big city, but then we realized that Cleveland isn't a big city at all.
Well, it is big, but there's nothing big about it.
Nothing tall about it.
Where we ended up staying outside of Cleveland was probably busier than the city was on Friday at 5 p.m.
The city's a ghost town.
It is a ghost town. On Sunday, when we were looking for food from the venue, which is a little outside of downtown, probably like a couple miles away from downtown, we walked a mile and a half before we found a place, which was next to a college.
There's no one there.
There was nothing. And not even like it's a, so Baltimore is one of those, you walk, you're in the inner harbor, and it's, oh, look, nice and touristy, and then you walk a block or 2 in, and you're like, I'm going to get shot. This is, oh, look, there's a building that we're occupying. Oh, look, next to it, there's no building that's occupied, and it's run down. Oh, look, the next 30 blocks, you can have a fucking, farmer's market. There's nothing. There's, literally nothing. And even on the weekends, even when you think things would be hopping, there's nothing.
No, there really isn't. So, going from Dorney Park, we went to Cedar Point. And holy shit, just pulling up to that place is like Christmas.
It is the roller coaster capital of the United States.
And it earns its keep for a fucking reason.
Before we explain why, let me tell you, just to sum it up, never in my life will I ever experience a theme park or a roller coaster park like Cedar Point. Everything is downhill.
We've been to the best.
When you go to the best, you have the best. It's not going to be the same. The Six Flags up in Massachusetts, I forget whereabouts, in the middle of Mass. It has this Agawam. It has the Superman. That's the big ride.
The one in Jersey has a little bit better.
But they have stuff that's also on the map. Like, the thing with Cedar Point is, Cedar Point, at least more than half of those rides have been on the map. And when I mean the map, they hold, top 10 records. We rode the second fastest and second tallest. Actually, I was just looking this up. The third fastest and the second tallest in the world.
Yeah, the Ferrari one in Abu Dhabi or United Arab Emirates is the fastest.
Goes at 149 miles per hour.
And then King Dakar is the tallest and the second fastest.
And, before we get into top thrill drags, because that's a whole interesting story all day.
Oh my god.
There's so many good rides. Like, the first ride that we went on was the Gatekeeper. It's right there at the door.
I'd say that was top 5. Probably 5th, but top 5.
Top 5. There's these 2 towers at the front of Cedar Point, and the ride does 2 corkscrews through these fucking things. It has a good... The cool thing about Cedar Point is it's on this peninsula in Lake Erie.
I think it would be an island if they didn't build the bridge to it.
Yeah. So it's like in the middle of Lake Erie, so every time you had a ride, some of the rides like go off almost over the water, which is just incredible. You know.
It's breathtaking, it's beautiful. It messes with all your senses in a good way.
We do want to thank our friend Shannon, who has a season pass and goes there like pretty much like gets paid to go there.
My old trivia buddy, she moved there earlier this year. It was good to see her in general. And she knew her way around the park, which was very handy considering there was so much to do.
Let me tell you, things got interesting when we started downing those Lime-A-Ritas. Roller coasters with alcohol in your system is a totally different experience.
I try to stay hydrated. I only had a little bit, but you and her were feeling pretty good.
Oh, we were going. We were raised horses. Some of the cool highlights, see the Gatekeeper was a cool one. Handful of wooden roller coasters. One of them, Gemini, which was these 2 coasters that would race each other. Which was I
liked that one.
That was cool. That was fun. You know, I've never seen that before. My father says that he's been on a couple of those.
There was actually a lot of them. I've done a lot as a kid.
But I've personally never been on one. So it was cool. The Blue Streak was fascinating because that's the oldest coaster there from 1964.
The one that constantly seems to get off the rails, and people have photos of it.
Yes, we're not joking. There are photos. We felt it the second time I went on, and then we realized that
that fucker's getting air.
It's getting air when we saw those photos.
I made it as a joke. I'm like, that motherfucker left the rails, and the next day Shannon sends me a text message of this thing catching air. It's like, oh my god, I wasn't joking.
So, another highlight was the Millennium Force. It's voted the best steel coaster in the world.
Multiple years in a row now.
It also was the tallest coaster back in 2000. 310-foot drop. That ride, you go up, it's on the edge of the fucking beach going up, you know, on the side of Lake Erie. So one side you see the whole park, the other side you see the lake. Again,
it's just such a tall coaster.
It's
93 miles an hour, which is fast for a non-launched coaster, too.
Oh, yeah, it has a, what is it? It was one of the first coasters to have a pulley that would bring it up, a special kind of pulley or something to bring it up rather than...
You can actually watch it come back down after the coaster goes down the hill, and it will connect to the next train. It
brings you up pretty quickly, too, which is nice. You know,
it's a steep little climb, but it's awesome.
You know, the thing with most coasters for me isn't so much how high it is, it's more... Are we there yet? Sometimes you just kind of like, okay, this is just technology that hasn't caught up yet. But the Millennium Force has definitely caught up, even for a coaster that's 16 years old.
We wish we got to ride it at night. We got to ride during the day. I would put that as my 4th favorite coaster there.
You know what, hold on to the list, because you and me had the same list. So we're going to mention the list at the end of our favorites.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
We mentioned Gatekeeper being 5, so we're kind of working our way up as we go.
Was Maverick on there?
Maverick was, yeah, that was actually 3, ironically.
That was number 3. Maverick was I guess that was, one of the newer coasters?
No, it's an older one.
It's an older one. That was interesting because...
It's not the fastest, it's not the tallest, but...
It jerks you around.
It does a lot, and it's jerking around where it's not like a wooden one where you think you're getting beat up by an X or something.
It does like half corkscrews, like it throws you one way and then it suddenly shifts. It also does a 95-degree drop, which is pretty, interesting. If you think about it.
It goes 0 to 70 in a dark tunnel, which is cool.
Oh yeah, that was cool when it just the ride just stops. All of a sudden you hear it build up and it just shoots you out of this tunnel.
It really is the jack of all trades roller coaster.
Yes. The one that's not on there that you mentioned, you thought was at Dorney, was Magnum XL. That was one from like '89.
When that was built in '89, it was like the fastest and the tallest too.
But that was the one that actually went over the beach.
I'll put that as my number 6.
We'll put that as 6. I'll agree with you on that one.
I almost got hit by a seagull. Me and Molly were dodging seagulls.
You guys took the front run on that one too.
Yeah, we were on the front, and a seagull came within inches of our heads. Just fucking flying around, having a good time. Not to mention, I just missed someone's hat by multiple inches on one of the crappier roller coasters in the park when I was riding with Shannon on It's just called the corkscrew, I think.
Yeah, that was one from the 70s that definitely looked dated and felt dated.
That thing was terrible. So I get off that one, dodging a hat merely from the guy in the front row to get on Magnum XL with Molly, only to be dodging seagulls. There's a lot of debris dodging.
Yes. This one isn't on the top 5, but this was cool because this coaster's closing. They keep calling it an old coaster, but the coaster's only 25 years old, and I'm only 25 years old. So if that coaster's 25 years old and that's old, does that make me old and I need to be retired and put in a hole?
That thing is falling apart.
So Mean Streak is it's like the 7th tallest or fastest wooden roller coaster in the world. At one point, it was the fastest and tallest or something. It goes at like 65, 70.
I don't know if it was the fastest or tallest, but it was in the top.
It's in the top 10.
Yeah,
as of now.
It still is now. It's supposed to be closing September 16th.
So
our friend Shannon's very disappointed about that because it is her favorite ride.
It was fun. We also renamed it the Domestic Abuse Coaster because it throws you around.
It's rough. Our friend Molly, I was actually riding with her on that ride, and she goes, I think me and Rob actually knocked out about halfway through and don't remember half of it because it was so rough. And it really was the best description I heard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain. I mean, when I go on a wooden roller coaster, I expect to be abused. Like, every one of those coasters is more rough than the steel because that's all the wood and that's all the, that's another thing. My other favorite thing about going on wooden roller coasters is every time they go by, you and me are like, hey Molly, look at that beam right there. Wait for the truck to go by, and the car would go by, and you just see the thing shake like
that fucking minecart one. That fucking piece is wobbling, multiple inches of movement,
multiple feet.
I would go feet, but it was moving. Every time a train go by, some of the support beams were fucking shaking.
Somebody decided to build a roller coaster and go, hey, let's not screw this together.
Your brother built it.
Yes, exactly. My brother Mike built it. So, Mean Streak, Blue Streak, the wooden roller coasters were fun. Unfortunately, Mean Streak won't be there in a month.
Well, they might not tear it down. The worst ride there, the Electric Boogaroo, or
the Rigamaroo. Now, the ride itself isn't bad. It's a cool coaster. The problem with it is that there's restraints on it.
You're going to smash your head against the restraints.
My head was hurting for like a day and a half.
All 4 of us agreed.
Yeah. It was probably the worst. The corkscrew wasn't bad. It was rough, but your neck didn't
fuck with your head.
Yeah.
Or your neck.
Another fun one was the Raptor, the one right next to the buffet you went to.
I had no problems with the Raptor.
The only problem is we were stuck in there for 20 minutes. Somebody threw up.
I would say that one was equal to the Talon on Dorney Park.
It was the same ride.
That probably my number 7.
Yeah.
If we go down that low, that'd be my 7 after Magnum XL.
Yes, I'd agree. Now we get to the fun ones. So towards the end of the night, we went on the Valraven, which is the high. Is that the most recent one there? I think.
It's the newest coaster. It only opened a couple months ago. It's the tallest, the fastest, the longest dive coaster in the world. There's only 3 of them in the States. There's probably 10, 12 of them in the world.
Yeah. So to clarify with a dive coaster, I know some of you people are like, oh yeah, it's going to drop. No, let me clarify something. There's a difference between a drop and then a ride that goes, oh, we're going to just literally drop you straight down.
Yep.
This thing does a 90-degree drop.
Every dive coaster has an exact 90-degree angle. Usually, I think all of them. I've been on all 3. The other 2 are in the Busch Gardens. They're all named after mythical birds. There's the Griffin and the Shrika in the Busch Gardens in Virginia and Florida. This is obviously the bigger one called the Valraven.
The biggest one in the States.
Yeah, it's also the biggest one in the world. So
Raven, really?
Yep, it's the biggest one in the world, longest one in the world. So it's the best dive coaster you can go on, and it's proudly homed at Cedar.
We ended up going on at night, which is cool because all the lights go on, and we got up there. The drop is 214 feet, so it goes 75 miles an hour. So the coolest thing, it brings you up, and then it has this long little level, this little maybe 100, 200 foot path that it kind of curves off to the drop. Now the one thing that we said when we went in line, we want the front row. So to picture this isn't one of those this isn't you're not in a cart you're on just a seat that's held to get, like, that's these seats that are on a bar.
They're very open. Dive coasters have it's 3 rows of 8.
Yes. So we were right up front, and there's nothing in front of you. So there's not even the front of the, most rides you have the front of the car or carriage before you go down. This thing, it stops just before, and then it slowly brings you, and it just dangles you over the edge, and there's nothing there. You're looking 214, well, probably more, looking at, I don't know how...
It holds you there for about 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Timed it.
You timed it. All I hear is we sitting there, and at first you kind of, maybe some people are freaked out, but then when you look at it, you're like, that's not bad. And all of a sudden I hear, from my right ear, 3, 2, 1. And as soon as 1 hit, this light flashed on the bottom, and the coaster just dropped. And it was the coolest thing ever. Like, so... if anybody ever wants to go on a dive coaster, never go in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or how many rows there are. Always take the front fucking row.
Dive coasters are my favorite. They really are just an amazing build. And I'm glad I've been all the ones in the States. I'm sure there'll be one, like, eventually in California that I'll never ride. But as of now, I can say I've been all the ones in the States.
Yeah, it was incredible. So... let's jump back a bit. We did most of the coasters. It was 17.
We only missed one, but it wasn't really a roller coaster because it didn't have wheels.
It was on a gondola.
Yeah.
And they were doing VR testing for it. It was the Iron Dragon, I think.
Something
like that. We didn't go on it. We did 16 out of the 17. There were, according to the website, the 17 coasters.
One of them was a kiddie coaster we didn't ride. It was actually Intamin, the company that is like the Superman of building roller coasters. Their first ride ever from like the 70s was a kiddie coaster. We saw it when we were on that pipe one. It's the one right next to it.
Is that the Peanuts one?
I think it was in the Peanuts area. But that's the first ride that Intamin ever built, and now they're building monsters.
Yes. So we did, 15 out of the 17. There was 42 rides and, thrill rides, whatever, kiddie rides. It really is the roller coaster park of the world. And you ever have a chance to go. We're going again next year, I think.
And Kings Island.
And Kings Island want to do. So throughout the day, we booked it, and by the time we finished Valraven, we were dead. Except for Shannon, who goes 2 to 3 times a week.
Yep.
And she was like ready to go. She's like, Millennium Force at night. Millennium Force at night. Now all day
we were trudging around reluctantly to do it, but we didn't want to disappoint her, so we were moving up in line.
So all day. Top Thrill Dragster, which is as we said, the 2nd tallest, the 3rd fastest in the world.
All of these are launch coasters.
Yes. This was up and down. So we're in line for Millennium Force at night. We're all exhausted. You could see in our eyes. We're totally like, no, we pretty much were blunt. We're like, yeah, we want to call it quits now. But shit, you got to do it. We were all like, okay. So she had an app.
I did not take much hesitation when I saw that fucker run, and I got a second one.
So Shannon has an app for Cedar. Cedar Point has an app. Shannon had it, and it keeps updates with how long the lines are, what's up, what's broken. So around 10:30 at night, between 10:30 and 11 o'clock, Top Thrill Dragster comes back on, and we booked it. I can't tell you, like the last of my win came out from that booking between Millennium Force and Top Thrill Dragster. It's a long fucking walk. Like, the park is huge. So we get there, we got in line, and we're waiting, and we're all crossing our fingers. So
that was the ride that I wanted to do the most.
That was, it's like the main attraction. As much as Valraven was the new one, that's the thing. Because that's the thing that probably at one point held records, really recently. So it's a launch coaster. It launches you from 0 to 120 in what, 3.8 seconds. It makes you feel like you're on a top fuel drag car.
It's almost pro stock acceleration. They're actually not very fast. The 3rd major class in drag racing. That's almost as fast as you can accelerate.
Yeah. So we're waiting. And we're like, there's no way we're going to get on this. This is going to fucking break again. Finally, we get up to the front. We get in the car. We're sitting in the car. And Rob's like, you were like, nope, not until we leave. Not until we're at the Christmas tree. Nope, this thing, I don't believe it. Then it pulls us forward. We're at the Christmas tree, and I don't know about you, but I was still like, this thing's gonna break. This thing's gonna break.
I was just trying to. I thought that too, and I was trying to make some jokes like, "Oh, we're gonna red light, fucking fail, and all this shit." Tony Schumacher's gonna beat us.
So, what it does, it brings up to the drag.
And it actually has the sound of a Top Fuel dragster idling, which is pretty nice, actually.
And the thing, you have not even like 3 seconds to realize what's going to happen. Those lights go, because it's like here you see the first light, they all go, and boom, you're flying. So
just like a real drag racing light, you got the pre-stage, the stage, and then the ambers. As soon as it hits green, it goes.
Except it doesn't shoot you up 412 feet, which is cool. And once you're up to the top, you're like, this ride isn't bad. And then the world becomes slow motion for about 5 seconds. And you're looking like, this is a great view, da-da-da-da-da. And then you realize you have to still go down 412 feet straight down.
The drop on that one didn't bother me. I was so, like, frazzled, like, going up that hill. Like, I can't believe we're going up the hill at this speed. It just almost seemed fake to me, going up that hill. The drop was cool, but it just didn't bother me.
No, it didn't bother me too, but it was just one of those, oh yeah, we still got to go down. You know,
it does slow down at we call it the top hat a little bit.
Yeah, and
right down.
It was incredible. It just, the moment we got off that, we decided that Val Raven was number 2 and Top Thrill Dragster was number 1. And if that was running all fucking day, we would have been in line all day.
It's a 34-second ride, and it's still the best ride.
Yes.
And King Dakar, the bigger brother of it, is only in New Jersey. 129 miles an hour, and I think the drop's like 20 feet an hour.
Yeah, so Cedar Point was amazing. And funny thing is, that was one of the secondary, let's just do something while we're over there things. It wasn't the main reason we were going to Cleveland.
It became a little more obvious when I found out Shannon was moving there. But it was talked about even before then.
It was, but it was one of those, well, we could do this. It wasn't what we were going there for. Which leads us to Friday.
Friday.
So Friday, what did we do Friday? Friday was a chill day before the shows. We just kind of hung out. You guys were at the pool, you and Molly. That was 91. It was like 91 degrees out.
Yeah, we were fighting pool noodles.
And it was muggy as shit. I stayed in the room catching up with Raw and SmackDown because I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to hang outside. Because the moment I get out of that pool, I'm not drying off. I won't dry off. So we ended up driving back into Cleveland. We went to the Agora Theater, which was not as sketchy as I thought it would be after seeing that article about the shooting there 2 weeks ago.
5 people got shot like 3 weeks ago, right in front of it.
So we get there. It's not bad. It's a nice theater. It's a nice venue. It's like, that's what I would want the upstairs of the Palladium to look like.
If only they had AC.
Yeah, there was that. So we got there. We met up with some of our friends from Worcester. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Brian. Miss you guys.
Lauren. Jessica Dorner. We know a lot of people.
Yeah, we have a whole New England Dog Fashion Disco Polka Dot Cadaver group that we meet up with. We do. So we went there the first night. The first night was good. 3 bands played. The first one was something involving a monkey. Fascinating act. I had to buy both albums.
I was outside smoking and drinking. I didn't hear them, but I heard they weren't terrible compared to the rest of the crap that happened.
They were, if Mystery Science Theater 3000 was a band.
Interesting.
Because their newest album, I think it's their newest one that I bought, it's called The Dive into the Great Blue Waffles.
That's a fantastic name.
You look at it and you think Downtown Brown, Psycho Stick, this is that kind of...
I might have to hear the album. I heard they weren't bad, and then I heard the rest were all, like, genericide.
Oh, the one band before them? Yeah, I mean the one band before Polka Dot.
I'm talking the rest of it, too.
Oh, yeah, oh, no, Knives Out and Polka Dot played on Friday. I totally forgot about that.
Both about 10-song sets.
Yeah, it was,
Black Mass, Hysteria, in its entirety, actually. Although they played one new song somewhere near the end in the middle.
I do remember that.
It was cool to see Tommy Sickles play live, because he's probably the only sort of member I haven't met. I didn't actually meet him. Knives Out was good. That was the only band I haven't seen that's a Todd project that's still anywhat active, because I'll never see the Altar Boys.
No. You won't see that.
Especially with J-Man back in Mushroom Head. Knives Out was definitely awesome. I think Polka Dot had a little bit more energy, a little bit more fluidity of playing together.
I think the thing with all these projects is they're melding into one because it's pretty much the same. It was the same band every night.
It really is. And it shows in the new Knives Out album, which is amazing. But they could easily just released it with like a 4 CD epic album of Dog Fashion Disco with the same songs. I'd be just as good with it.
Yeah. No.
Nothing wrong with that. New music every 6 months is fantastic. I have no complaints about
Or
that.
re-record the first album, you know?
Oh yeah, redo Erotic Massage.
Because I think that's what, you know, maybe I should have said something, you know, somebody should say something inside. You should just re-record and remaster that.
They have done, you know, Satanic Cowboy and a couple other ones came from that album originally. They just redid them. Second.
Somebody said the vinyl was a lot better. Didn't you say that?
Yeah, we have the vinyls. Mine's framed. I haven't listened to it.
I do want to listen to mine. I heard that it was remastered and sounds better. Because when we were driving home, one of the songs came up. I could not hear. What the fuck is this? And I had to turn the volume almost all the way just to hear the song. And I'm like, wow, this sounds like us a year ago when our microphones weren't working on the podcast. Like it was.
Still gotta get better microphones.
So, you know, it was great. It was a fun time. I think was that the night with the clutch cover?
No, that was the second night.
Second night, okay. So the first day was, you know, I thought we'd be doing more during the days, but we kind of just chillaxed because it was hot. And again, going back to what we said, there really was nothing to do in Cleveland, even Sunday when we went.
There was stuff to do. Honestly, I was sick Saturday, which really fucking sucked.
Oh, were you sick, huh? We having a little too much fun, huh?
Yeah, I had too much fun.
Too much alcohol, huh?
Yeah.
Trying to be Sam, huh?
So we went to the Great Lakes Brewery. I drank 1 beer. I ate. The food was fantastic.
Good beer.
Yeah, the beer's good. We had 6 packs, and I was able to drink the next night and be fine. I was feeling like shit that day.
Molly blew my mind how she was like, she's this 110 pound girl, and she's like was perfectly fine. Or she just showed, like, she didn't show anything.
Like, alcohol-wise?
Yeah. Like, she looked fine.
I shouldn't have a hangover or anything.
Yeah, which boggles my mind. But good for you, Molly.
She's a cool chick.
The second day, Something Involving Monkey did an acoustic set. Idea Men played.
Idea Man was fantastic. That was a last-minute ad. Tim of Dog Fashion's main band, technically. And they killed it. Nice, probably 10-song set from them.
It was gold.
I haven't seen them in like 6 years.
I've never seen them, and I think they're my favorite Dog Fashion Disco related project.
They're really, really good. They're a lot more mellow, but they're fantastic.
Now, that was the night of El-Creepo, and I told you this, like, so the shows start off very mellow, and then they go like to the second. I feel like he does the albums almost in order.
He almost did. No, because he played the more mellow stuff from the third album in the beginning.
Okay. Or he just picks the mellow stuff and gets heavier. Because
it progressively got heavier.
Because they got so fucking... they were pretty... I'm like, are we listening to Dog Fashion Disco or El-Creepo? This was be El-Creepo.
Well, it comes back to what I was saying earlier, where they just put a 4-album Dog Fashion Disco thing out and it'd be fine. Because the first half of that album is the acoustic stuff from basically the first 2 El-Creepo albums. The second half... basically Dog Fashion songs.
Yeah.
Good ones, fantastic ones, but not El-Creepo-ish.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with it still. Again, great, great songs. But yeah, the second half, they were rocking. It was kind of like that we saw Creepo a few years ago. The mellow part was longer because there was more mellow stuff at the time.
Yes.
But he still played, Hot Little Temper and Arabian Rose and all that.
There was one song, I wish I remember what it was, but I turned to Kevin and Shannon, because I think Shannon joined us.
Yep.
And I looked at them both and I go, I feel like I'm listening to The Great Geek in the Sky by Pink Floyd. Because, this Matt Ripito was playing, and it just had this very Floydy, very 70s feel to it.
Was it My Valentine? That was a Paul McCartney cover. Who did that one?
I don't remember. Yeah. Maybe that was it.
That was the only... I have to look at the set list. They did 2 covers. They did My Valentine, which was Paul McCartney, and they obviously did Escape from the Prison Planet from Clutch.
Is he a big Paul McCartney fan? Because 3 years ago we saw.
He played that same song. It was the same one. We played it 3 years ago.
Oh, you did play that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first, those 2 nights were good. Night 3. Well, this is the one, this was fun because this is where we found out that we didn't have a hotel room that night. So it wasn't like we could chill out. We actually had to go out and discover Cleveland.
Yeah, that was my poor planning on my part.
But either way, we discovered Cleveland, and there's not much to discover.
We parked near the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's good. You went in with the gift shop. I went 9 years ago. I didn't need to go again. You guys weren't totally sold on it. We talked about it. We walked by the great science area. There's a bunch of plastic dogs and honey badgers and snails out front.
Plastic ones. I like
people just drag them around the streets, putting them in different places.
It looks like you're stealing a bunch of shit in front of a museum, and it's just people moving shit around.
So we walk 1.5 miles. We go through a farmer's market in the middle of just the streets.
Oh yeah, we also walked by the biggest toilet in the U.S. Also known as the Browns Field. Yeah, we walked 1.5 miles to an aquarium. That was in looked like an old power plant.
It's 2 10-gallon tanks and a turtle.
In a basement.
In a basement of an old factory.
It was 20. I mean, it was cool, but you know what? Now I think about it, I wish I wasted money on the Hall of Fame.
I think that would have been a better choice. It would have saved us a lot of walking too.
But I think we looked at the money. I think how much was the Hall of Fame today?
Would have been about the same price, maybe like $4 more.
Yeah, I think it would.
We ended up spending that much at the fucking farmer's market buying lemonades.
Yeah. We did the aquarium. We did a walk. It was it was Sunday and it was like dead. There was nothing. We were in the busiest part, like the most touristy part of that town. Again, we have the stadium that the Browns play at, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, their science exhibit. There was a submarine there. It was as busy as, I don't know, LA on a Monday, New York on a Monday, if that.
Imagine your local farmer's market at your town. That's about how busy that was. Right in the middle of the town.
There was just nothing going on. So, it's not that Cleveland's not a dangerous town, but there's not a lot there. Besides the third night of Dog Fashion Disco. Where was Dog Fashion Disco? And boy, was that an interesting night.
Great song set.
After the Genericide Festival.
Yeah, you gotta love the Genericide bands.
All the metalcore bands came out. We didn't go in. We were outside just talking.
We were in an alleyway, hanging out with all our friends. It's a great time.
It was good. They went on. They got out a lot later than we thought. They played all of Adultery, their last album before they broke up in 2006. In its entirety. A lot of new stuff, I felt like.
Yeah, a lot from Sweet Nothings, 2 songs from the newest album, Ad Nauseam.
Of course, I played the classic Pogo.
Pogo was the closer. They played a decent amount off Anarchist and Committed.
Yeah, it was a good night.
I don't think there was a single song that I really wanted to hear that they didn't play. Maybe a couple of the newer songs off Ad Nauseam, just because I have never heard them live. I don't know.
The crowd went crazy for War Party. That seems to be a really big
yeah.
People like off the new album, the second last album.
I think they played at least 6 songs off Sweet Nothings.
Maybe Todd just bored with playing all the old shit. He wants to play something new.
No, I mean Sweet Nothings is probably my second favorite album from them. It's really good. I would have liked to hear the ones I haven't heard live. End of the Road. That's a good one.
So we actually got out like just before 1 o'clock. We played it felt longer than 2 hours. What time did they go on?
It's about 2 hours. I think it was 2.5 hours. So.
Yeah, it was a long set, which for me is fine. But we decided we were going to drive home. We're doing a 10-hour drive from Cleveland, Ohio, back to Rhode Island.
It wasn't the smartest idea, but there's a lot of factors going into that.
But we did it. We drove home. I got 3 hours of sleep and drove, I think, 6 or 7 of those hours. Never mind, I was getting locked out of the car, which is a story in itself.
So that's what fucking killed me. That was 2 hours of my driving time from waking up from the time. That got fucking killed.
Yeah. But, yeah, we got home. Yesterday we chilled with Josh Rappin from J&J. Was his birthday yesterday or was that today? I still don't remember. He does like to fuck with people. We hung out with him, played a little bit of Pokemon Go. This was the break day. And then we just actually and not even an hour before we recorded this, we came back from seeing the Deftones in Boston.
Best show I've seen all year.
It's the best, for a band that we all have discussed. I don't know if we had this, James.
I don't think we give them enough credit. I know Gore was kind of a lackluster album, but...
No, but they're an amazing band.
Yeah.
And the new album was And even Molly went with us as well, and as well as her boyfriend Cam. Hi, Cam.
Hi.
It's... Even he said that the more he listens to the new album, he dislikes it more.
Something you very rarely hear.
Yeah. I mean, I like one song off of it. I might have to go back and do another listen of it. Anywho, them live were incredible. They were absolutely... Chino, he's been doing this for 20 years. He's one of the few vocalists at his age who I don't think is starting to lose his voice.
He has a lot of energy on stage, too.
He does. He doesn't look like he's a day over 30. He just... So much energy. They were so good. They played, Digital Back. They played Change. They played Passenger. They played...
all the songs you would want to hear them play.
Yeah.
Well, they played all their big stuff. They played a little bit off Gore, but...
They didn't play the single, I was surprised. Triangles, that's the one I would have liked to hear. That's my favorite track off it. It was just incredible. The band before it, they were just some generic Swedish band, which actually they're supposed to be a punk hardcore band with very political opinions. And I'm like, okay.
They were sucking so bad they started talking political just to get cheers, in my opinion. They're called The Refused. I saw them literally a year ago at the same place, same time of year, sometime in early August, when they opened up for Faith No More, and somehow progressively they got worse this year.
Oh, it sounded worse than...
No, I'm saying they sounded worse. Yeah, they sounded worse this time. Like, they had one good song last time I saw them. Maybe they played it before we got there because we did walk in, maybe with their through their set, but...
They weren't... There's nothing... They were okay. They sounded good, like their sound. They were mixed well. But there was nothing going on. I had no interest.
His vocals just are repetitive. The guitarist sounds like he plays the same chords every song. Bass and drums are alright, but
they're not even a band I'd go and download it or check out an EP or an album just to listen to them. They've actually been around since as long as I've been alive.
Yeah,
91.
but they've broke up for 10 years.
Yeah.
There's so much coming out of Sweden, and then there's these guys.
Yeah. I was reading up on them. They actually used to play the same club, and they're from the same town that Meshuggah's from.
And Meshuggah is one of the most unique, fucking heavy, awesome bands out there. So it's like, if they came from the States, I'd go, okay, whatever. The fact they come from Sweden's almost even more disappointing.
It's very disappointing, because that's probably one of my favorite music comes from.
Absolutely.
My number one album of the year, which hasn't changed since we discussed this, Haken's Affinity. They're from Sweden.
Meshuggah and 12-Foot Ninja have yet to come out there.
No, we'd like to talk about it, but there's so many albums coming out. Anywho,
I think we should maybe do our next episode as what's coming up in a future episode.
We might have to do that. We might have to get together and do that. Make it quick and painless. So, yeah, we just came back from Deftones, and we go back to work tomorrow, and we just I thought it'd be easier to talk about it on the podcast so you guys can all hear our story. We had a blast. There were pros and cons. Again, Cleveland wasn't great, but then again, who goes to a big city like that's like if we went to Detroit.
It just seems whenever we go on vacation, it's always scaldingly humid.
Scaldingly humid.
It was 100 degrees when we saw Dog Fashion Disco.
Dog Fashion Disco tours the state's worst cities in the most humid weather. Thank you, Todd.
So many things that seem to repeat themselves. I was telling you, Lauren and Will, the last time they were in my car when the first time came out, and then they haven't been in my car since we gave them a ride home to their hotel room. So many things just repeat themselves. It's weird.
Yeah, interesting. We also spent most of the ride listening to the Bonfire, which has enlightened me a lot with proper show etiquette.
Those guys are absolutely phenomenal.
They are great, and I think we're going to take a little bit from them. Well, not take, but use their platform as a basis.
There's stuff to be learned without
stealing.
Yeah, it's not even stealing. It's just
copying
how to do it right.
Yeah. Somehow they can talk about nonsense and do it right. We can talk about nonsense and get 4 listeners.
Obviously, they're grade A comedians. They've been doing this a little bit longer.
We're not comedians.
And they have a budget. And a studio.
We have a budget and no studios. Budget is $0. So, with that all being said, I had a good time. Granted, I got another trip coming up. We're going to see Aftershock in October, end of October. A bunch of other trips. We will have to do another episode. I don't know if right away, because obviously we're busy. I work a day job now. Schedule's a little tougher, but, hey, good we can sit down and talk to you guys.
I'll try to do at least a monthly episode, maybe release some of the stuff from the vault that we're gathering.
The vault, the 1 month's worth of material that's sitting in the vault. So, talk about this in my other channel, Laughing Wolf Studios. I will be moving out at the end of the month. I think beginning of September, we're going to have a house party podcast where we'll be you and me, Dave Arnold from Laughing Wolf, Josh from J&J, maybe John from J&J, maybe a couple other people. Maybe we'll do like a week's worth of podcast, short episodes, just bullshit and talk and have a good time.
We need to do more, even if it's like 5-minute fucking teasers about
something. But we're getting
something.
But with my Laughing Wolf channel, we're definitely getting a set place to do all the.
I thought Laughing Wolf was 3 people.
It started with 3, but there's pretty much Laughing Wolves now, and anyone who's listening wants to contribute. We're expanding our content. We're doing video game stuff, music stuff. We're gonna do original videos. This is pretty much the big real deal here.
I'm working on something that I don't want to talk about too much right now. It's very big.
Yeah, it's big. It's like LeBron James winning the NBA final, not the Cleveland Cavaliers.
This is honestly, if this works out, this is my one chance to probably make a good writing.
So, we're going to have a set place, hopefully, to do all of our recording, our filming, and everything. It'll be our official studio until we can get an actual studio. So, we will keep you updated. It's great talking to you guys. We try to keep this as short and sweet as possible.
It's a very special episode.
Yes, it is called MercTown Underground Weekend in Cleveland.
Episode 1 of 1.
Yes. So, yeah, you guys take care, and you have a wonderful August.